It's Business Morning, Monday, June the 5th, with me, Bolson Omofaya, and it's a warm welcome from all of us here at Channel's global headquarters in Lagos. Hope you had a very nice weekend. Happening today in Abuja, Nigeria's political capital, the House of Reps Ad Hoc Committee today opens a public hearing on quote-unquote stolen or undeclared crude oil and gas exports trade worth $17 billion between the year 2011 and 2014. On the roll call of agencies expected to appear today is the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, the Department of Petroleum Resources, or DPR, the Central Bank of Nigeria, as well as international oil companies, has been queried and been asked to step forward by the committee. The report says House of Representatives wants clearance on the difference between the sum of $123.9 billion total oil and gas sales between those years and only $42.7 billion as reported receipts into the coffers of the government. So the balance money is what the House of Reps committee says they want to find out between the central bank, international oil companies, and some oil agencies of the government, NNPC and the DPR, what happens to the undeclared crude oil and gas exports. The committee, however, has been complaining the responses it gets from government agencies, quote-unquote, have been generally uncooperative. Okay. Let's go to a quick review of some of the markets we tracked on a daily basis, and there's no better place to start than the equities with a roller coaster that's now in its second month. Look at the stock market last week, a very busy and interesting trading week. The stock market gained massively on Friday, 3% in the north. For the week in total, nearly 8%. We got at 31,371 back. That's one of the highest we've had since the market boom in 2007, before it burst in the first quarter of 2008. Market cap now around $35 billion. That's about 10.8 trillion on the street if you do the exchange rate calculations. In terms of volume, the market was, equities was up 23.54%. In naira value, that's about 23.813 billion naira. That's about 45.9% to the north, and we did 22,000 plus in total transactions. And if you flip that over, if you take that away, you see the sectoral performances, 5 of them, the main 5 banks added 4% in the week, despite a bit of a slowdown sometime during the week. Insurance, the closest cousins to the banks, had about 6.08% in the week we just finished, thanks to Mansard, ICO Group, and a few others. The industrial goods, thanks to Dangote Cement and other bellwethers in that space. Consumer goods added 7 and about 3/4%, while oil and gas finished 4.54%. Eromosele Aziba from Afrinvest is here to talk to us a little bit about what happened to the oil and gas and why they failed to follow the rest to the north since the week we just finished. Hold on a second. Before we bring in Eromosele, let's talk about the unlisted securities market. A bit of a tapering at the NASD OTC market on Friday. The market lost 4% on Friday. In our USI unlisted securities index and the market cap, despite 1.48% gain for the week, that shaved the market value of the NASD from 400 billion to 398.68. Look at the flip side, it's 4.02% climb in terms of volume. Deals were up 125%, that's 38 in total, and the naira value 25.05 million. That's about a negative 9.32%. Total volume also declined by 84.02% week on week. Okay, let's climb very quickly and look at the fixed income. As far as the Nigerian government Naira paper is concerned, 4 transactions in the main on Friday. That's quite lackluster, a total of 1.24 billion, 9 transactions only. A bit of a quiet day, despite the fact that investors were still positive as far as the fixed income was concerned. The most active transaction was 500 million. Very small value on FGN bond maturing 17th of March 2027. At the Treasury bill space, the strongest of the market, 41.382 billion naira. In total, that was quite massive. 200.640 billion naira, despite the central bank auction in the week. And we have a lot to talk about on this as the week progresses. But of course, you know what the average is there now for Treasury bills, more than 16%. Yields came down on Friday for most of the week, really, because investors were piping a lot into stocks and bonds. So the oil and gas was pushed aside last week by investors. You've heard that. A very surprising move. We're bringing in Eromosele Aziba, who is an investment analyst with Afrinvest, to provide some insight. Eromosele, good morning. Hope you had a very nice weekend.
Yes, I did.
Also, I skipped the currencies market, and we're going to talk about that later on the program, what the currencies market's doing. Eromosele, let's talk about stocks. I'm itching to really talk about stocks.
Yes.
Almost 800 billion naira. Last week, for those who invest in the market, their portfolio grew almost $1 trillion in 1 week. That's massive.
Yes.
What's your take on this?
That's massive. We've seen a lot of interest return to the equities market, and it's broadly tied to the launch of the investors and exporters FX window back in April. Since the 24th of April, when the window was launched, till last week Friday, we've had 28 trading days, and on 24 of these 28 trading days, we've actually had appreciations in the market. Year-to-date performance prior to the 24th was still in negative region of about 6.7%. Now it's up about 16.7%. So we've seen a lot of interest return to the market. Foreign investors are starting to look at Nigerian equities again, starting to come back in, and even looking at pricing multiples of the stocks in the market. It's safe to say that Nigerian equities are actually rather undervalued when you compare it to peers. So, for instance, in South Africa, you have a price to book of over 2%, similar to Egypt, likewise Nairobi, but in Nigeria,